No, now we're live. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
We have Sheilah in the house and the Aloha Psychic Mel Dore. Welcome. I'm the hoodie psychic now since I always
Yeah,
wear
that's
hoodies.
right. We named you that, the hoodie psychic.
Yeah,
So that means even when it's 100 degrees, you have to wear that hoodie.
right? Well, good thing for me, my studio space is in the basement, so it's always nice and cool down here.
But that also means when it's 30 below, I have to wear an Aloha shirt. So
Right?
no such thing as a free lunch.
All right. Well, I hope everybody's doing well tonight. Happy Easter this weekend. If that's what you celebrate.
Happy Easter.
We're going to all do some political readings today, world events. If you all like to post your questions in caps with a couple heart emojis, we're going to try it without the, what is it, subscriber mode? Yeah, we're going to try it without, but if it gets too crazy, I may turn it on during the show.
Happy Easter, everybody. And to my Jewish friends, happy Passover, happy Pesach. And so that's coming. Happy Easter next week to all my Orthodox friends. So, anyway.
All right. What's this?
Kevin, can I bring up Sweden?
Oh, yes. Here, I'll start that one. Yeah, wasn't Putin saying if Finland and Sweden join NATO that he was threatening nukes?
That he would deploy nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
And I guess the question that people are nervous about is as follows, because, he said the same thing about Ukraine. He didn't want them to join NATO. I don't think he wants any countries around them to join NATO. So people are nervous like that. Will he invade Sweden now? So that's one question. Number two, will his threat keep Sweden out of NATO? And number three, will he use nukes? Those are the three things that came to mind. I mean, I've already got the answers, but I'll let you guys go with it first, and I'll go.
I'm not feeling nukes at all. I'm not feeling that. I think it's just a threat. I do see Sweden and Finland joining NATO, but I wouldn't mind throwing a few cards on it because when I was feeling out the energy earlier, I didn't feel like they would be joining right away.
See, I think that it's, yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Sheilah.
I think that it's getting fast tracked for Finland and Sweden. I think that they're definitely, going to get in there, and they've got militaries that are pretty darn formidable. So for him to be trying to threaten them is not a good move. And I think doesn't Switzerland also want to be a part of it now?
I didn't hear
I
that.
heard Switzerland. I don't know why.
I don't know. Switzerland's usually neutral, but
yeah, I guess not. But yeah, so it's I think that they might, but he is definitely threatening nuclear weapons, and it could be saber rattling. But I know that they're talking about the fact that it could be an actual concern. But I don't think he'll use them.
Okay, I'm using different cards tonight.
I mean, he can't even take over Ukraine successfully. It's a disaster, his military. So I don't see how we can try to invade Sweden or Finland. I really don't.
Well, here's what I pulled. I pulled the 7 of clubs, which would mean turbulence. It would mean divorce, but meaning like Scandinavia divorcing themselves from anything to do with Russia. I also pulled the 10 of diamonds when I asked what would happen to Putin. And that is a death card. It doesn't mean his physical death, but it means his demise as a dictator. I ask about Putin again. I pulled the 8 of diamonds, and that would mean after this ill luck for many, many years, if he lives that long. Mm-hmm. And I ask about the whole situation, and I pulled the 8 of hearts, which means distrust, betrayal. I asked the outcome, and I pulled the 3 of diamonds, which would mean Putin is really hurting because all of those countries are going to cut him off. So what I see is no nukes. I see Sweden and Finland in NATO. Actually, I'm picking up really soon. Mm-hmm. And so I think it is saber rattling. I do think Putin, in the back of his head, is planning on invading Sweden, trying Finland, and also, I forget how to pronounce it, but Moldova, I think. Moldova. So that's in his playbook. I think that I understand now that Putin is, they're kidnapping like Ukrainian kids. And I think that's a terror tactic too. Like, if you don't do what we want, we'll take your children. But my guides tell me Putin will not succeed. He absolutely will not succeed. Yeah. So that's the end of the day. So I'm sorry I get so wordy and so verbose, but I just wanted to kind of touch on all that. So.
Well, as I was shuffling, I had the Two of Cups come flying out, which could be a partnership with NATO, the two of them. I definitely felt intuitively that they would join NATO, but for some reason, something was making me feel like a little hesitant about it. But no, I definitely see them joining NATO because they're trying to move into calmer waters. They want to make sure that they're protected against these threats. So,
well, I think that general that Putin has got now overseeing Ukraine, he's the general that Putin used in Serbia that really just flattened, not Serbia, I'm sorry. Oh.
Syria?
In Syria, I'm sorry, in Syria. And that general like flattened cities, killed innocent civilians, and then Putin put his own person as president of Syria. But I see that president of Syria getting overthrown as well, and Syria becoming more democratic again. So this reign of terror, every time they kidnap a Russian child, kill an innocent civilian, it just inflames the Ukrainians that much more and gives them that much more willpower to fight. They will not give up. The Ukrainians will not give up.
No.
That's what my guides tell me. So.
Okay.
Did you throw any cards, Sheilah?
Yes, I did. So I've got the temperance over here, and this one says art under there, which is interesting. So I mean, they're trying to weigh all the options, and do we do it now, later? But my second card is swiftness over here with the 8 of Wands. It's really strange because it looks like a wheel, but so I think that it is going to be quicker. And that's what I'm feeling anyway, with or without the cards. But this one says pleasure. This to me is Putin and his craziness. That it's just his, when you're doing these things that you're doing, you're flattening these cities, and you're just doing. He must get some sick kind of. Okay, so this is Putin. I'm just gonna have to stop because it's just so where I'm going with that. But I do have failure here. I just pulled this one extra card out, and you can't see it a little bit. It does say failure on it.
Yeah.
And that is what I think ultimately is going to happen with Putin. I think they're going to make it in, and he's going to be in this place. So, yeah, he's not going to be coming out on top.
Putin is really getting a lot of enemies, and his enemies will take him down.
Yes.
I think Putin, like Cheeto Head, we know who Cheeto Head is, telling everyone what he's going to do prior to doing it, and then trying to twist it. But he's going to try to influence the elections. But my guys say that he won't succeed in any of that. So, I mean, he's bullying everybody. And that's what power hungry, maniacal dictators do. And they don't care about human life. All Putin wants is control. He wants control, and he wants to polarize the world. Those ones for him, and those ones that's on our side.
Right.
Well, while you're talking about that, what do you feel about the French election, Macron versus Le Pen? Is it Le Pen? That one, she's a big Putin lover. Because when I was tapping into it before, I heard a strong guess that Macron would win re-election. I felt that very strongly.
I pick up that Macron will win.
I do too.
Le Pen, she's playing on French xenophobia. And, she's very pro-Putin, and she does not like NATO. And here again, Trump too, but Putin has got his fingers in that. And I'm sure there's some dark money from Putin indirectly getting funneled to her. That's what my guides show me. But these people will not succeed in weakening NATO. It's not going to happen. In fact, NATO will become much stronger. So I feel Macron will win. but he really has to get out and campaign because she's playing on French xenophobia.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, definitely. And that's funny. I do that too. I've been mixing up Putin and Trump. It's like they've become the same person.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see somebody else is doing that too.
The same archetype.
Yeah.
And so is Le Pen or Le Pen or however you say her name.
Yeah, it's some.
How about we call her the Pawn?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
I got set my nervous giggle. Somebody said that my nervous giggle was annoying, so I better not do that.
Oh my goodness, you guys! Maybe it's my nervous giggle.
Oh, let's do nervous giggles on the count of 3, shall we?
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Did you throw a couple cards on that, Sheilah?
Well, I was pulling from the deck of character just to see, and I pulled the bulldozer over here. Leap, like she thinks she can, bulldoze through there, but her leap is only going to get the mountains. I don't think she's going to be successful in what she's doing. Like get a broken heart in the cave. She needs to go back where she's. So I just don't think. I think he's going to win. Personally, I've already I feel that already. I have thrown cards on it before, and I'm getting that he's going to win. I think he's polling higher too, still as well.
I was going to say, I think that the media is saying that they're like neck and neck, but I feel Macron's going to win in a much bigger lead than what the polling they're showing. Lily Girl says, "We love you, Mel. Giggle away."
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Sherry H.
All right. Yeah, and I agree with what you were saying, Mel. I think if Trump, if he wasn't president of the United States, if where we have a democracy, he would be doing the same exact thing that Putin's doing.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, he's that kind of evil person to do that.
Lie, deceit, step around, blame other people,
innocent people. Yeah,
bully, all of the above. My dog is asleep and she's having a dream, and she's barking in her sleep. I can hear her over there going, "Lucky, wake up, girl. Good girl." Oh. I'm thinking, what is that? It's the dog. Oh, you want to hear Mitch McConnell?
Yes.
Well, my dog Lucky, prettier than my wife. Oh, my husband. Oh, sorry. Can't say we're gay anymore, especially in Florida. I couldn't think of anything, but that's Mitch. And if the Republicans take over and we have to nominate another Supreme Court justice, we're not going to bring them to the Supreme Court floor. Oh, sorry, that who said that? No, that wasn't Moscow Mitch. That was Chameleon Lindsey Graham, wasn't it?
No, I think he was just saying, Moscow Mitch was just saying that if the Republicans take over the Senate, that they wouldn't put any of Biden's nominees through. Well, thank you, Jay Roberts. All right. Well, we all love your Mitch McConnell impression, Mel.
Yes.
It's so bad, it's funny.
Giselle asks, what's up with the GOP bowing out of future debates?
Because
could it be because they don't have that
Yes.
on?
Because they know they'll get their butts whipped.
Right.
And they don't want things coming up to show their hypocrisy.
Right.
My guides show me that there's going to be some Dems and independents that are going to really keep calling them to task on debating, and they're going to keep refusing. And so the Dems and the independents can use that as fodder against the repubes to say, look, they don't even come to debate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really think, too, before the midterms, I think that I think that Democrats are really going to put a bunch of votes on the floor to help with the inflation, to do this, to expand like Social Security, stuff like that. They're going to put a whole bunch of these bills on the floor. And when the Republicans vote no on them, they'll have something to say, well, we tried to do this for you, but Republicans voted no, and just keep on doing ads and ads.
Plus, there's going to be another stimulus package.
Yes.
Right before the midterms. So, usually the midterms are a bellwether, a report card of the current president. And so the Dems really need to get a battle plan and stick to it, because, even though I see them holding onto the House and Senate, my guides say the Dems could very easily lose unless they really get some kind of plan.
Yeah. And they have to go on the offense a little bit too, not play nice. So the Democrats need to go on the offense. They always play nice and, oh, we're going to be the better person, and not go for the Republican attacks. Now you need to play fire with fire.
What do you think, Sheilah?
No, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. I did that because I was shuffling.
We like the sound of the shuffle. I like it.
Well, not when people are talking, though. I don't want to interrupt you. But yeah, from what I understand, they don't like the people who are running the debates, or like whoever the hosts are. Like they don't like that. So they're complaining about that. They don't think it's fair. But my cards that I pulled on it, I've got my stuck in a moment you can't get out of card, so they are not comfortable when they have to go up against anyone at this point for debates, right? So with my Ace of Pentacles reversed, this is not success. They are definitely feeling when we do this, we don't look very good, pretty much. So, I mean, in a sense, that's kind of good news for the Democrats. Okay, this one did come up reversed. And the Republicans are not showing strength at all when they get up there. And we know what it's been like. Whenever there's a debate, whenever there's anyone giving testimony on the Hill, they don't do anything. But in a sense, there's justice here. So they're going to be shown. I don't have a card here that does it, but I just want to say it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. We are going to be able to see underneath that wool, since they won't get out there and talk. We know what it's like.
But I'll bet if the repubes could get somebody like Kremlin Carlson, I call him Kremlin Carlson, or like that Judge Rowe or whatever her name is, that goofus, to moderate. Oh, then Mitch McConnell would be okay for them because we like them. It'd be like, whoa. So.
But you know what it is too, though? It's almost like they don't have anything to really talk about anymore unless it's a grievance. They don't even have anything, they don't have any points. They're not doing anything. They haven't done anything for a long time. They didn't do anything when Obama was there. They didn't do anything when Trump was there. It's just
obstructionists. That's all they do. They just obstruct everything.
Mm-hmm.
All they can do is complain about the election was stolen, but that's not even valid anymore.
It's not stolen.
Complain of the Trumplicans, but even if they had a neutral moderator, somebody that was very neutral, it wouldn't matter to them. But yet the thing that bothers me about this with the repubes is when somebody does to them and they hold them to their own rules, they scream foul play.
Right.
They always do.
Yeah. Thank you, Lily girl. She has a question for you, Mel. She wants to know what you think of the Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. I don't know who that is.
We call him Fred Flintstone. I don't think he's been a bad governor. I think, some people criticize the whole mask mandate and this and that and whatever. I kind of thought he was maybe running here for governor because at some point he'd use that as a bid to run for president. I think that he's better than the last governor we had, who was a Republican. So, I can't. I mean, could Pritzker have done some things better? Absolutely. Specifically with drawing businesses back into Illinois to try to at least curb property taxes because people are moving out of Illinois because property taxes are so high. So, he could have done better with some of that stuff. But I think he's done some decent things for the state. He legalized marijuana, and that brought a lot of revenue to the state.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of other good stuff too. So I don't mean to dance around it. That's just, I can see both positive and some things that he needs to work on for improvement.
Wayne Rich makes a good point on what we were talking about last. The Republicans don't want to debate because we're still waiting on their healthcare plan to come out.
Yes, I forgot about that.
We've been waiting for that for years now, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh, remember Trump it's right around the corner. We're working on it. We're going to come out with it. And the only thing he came out with was trying to do away with Obamacare, which even the Republicans didn't want him to do away with.
Right.
Lindsey Graham said, nope. Not Lindsey Graham, I mean, McCain.
Right.
Oh,
Exactly.
God. How could I mix them up? Yeah, McCain was the thumbs down.
So Claudia said that the raid alert is on in all Ukraine cities, that the entire country is under threat. Is this happening because Putin is furious about that sink, Moskva? I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Moskva.
Their ship sinking. Yeah, I'm picking up he was very angry about that.
Well, he's like a typical repube, in that, it's okay for him to annihilate cities, but when somebody sinks his ship, he gets his underwear in a bunch.
Oh, yeah. His panties in a bunch.
Yeah. Well, I like panties better. We should I'd call him Poopka, but maybe Pubkin would be good.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sheilah?
I agree. Well, I actually kind of think it could be because of that. But I think if it's in all cities, though, that's interesting. Wonder if there's I hate to say it, but what if he's threatening big bombs in there? Oh, God, I hope not.
Yeah. Well, Putin's getting very paranoid. So, yes, my guides tell me he's absolutely frothing at the mouth because his ship was sunk. Mm-hmm. But I pulled a tarot. I call it tarot. Look what I pulled. 5 of Swords. Which means, I'm sorry?
That's defeat.
Defeat, that's right. And look, I ask about Putin again, his personality, and I pulled the 7 of Swords. That there's a lot of people behind his back plotting a course of action if he does want to go nuke.
Well, and that 5 of Swords is also a card of like the bully. That's what kind of vibes I get from that too. If you look at the one with all the swords in his hand.
And then I asked for the outcome of Ukraine. I pulled the 2 of Wands, which means for Ukraine, that's good card, I think. Mm-hmm. That the world won't turn their back on Ukraine, but they'll turn their back on Russia.
Yeah.
But yes, Putin is furious about it. I haven't heard anything about it on the news. This is the first I've heard about it, but I just pick up he's really mad.
Yeah, that's what I was picking up too.
Okay. I kind of have I got the Ace of Wands. So this is my beginning. This isn't a good beginning though, but this is the beginning of him getting extremely upset. And about Ukraine, Queen of Swords is now reversed. So, this is it is chaos. It's still chaos to me. So he's trying to reap more chaos on them. But judgment is coming. If he does anything major, and it affects NATO too, we're going to be there. So he needs to be very, very careful. He's walking a fine line right now because it's getting really close.
My guides just show me, I saw Putin. They just showed me this. A light bulb went on while you were talking, Sheilah. You're a good medium and battery. Keep talking. It brings my energies through. That Putin is going to have to do the walk of shame.
Yes.
Okay. And then I pulled a card on that and look. 8 of Cups.
Yeah.
Walk of shame.
That's it.
I've always felt Putin leaving, and I think it's going to happen sometime this year. I don't think it's too far off in the future.
See, and I just pulled the Emperor card just off the top of here. I keep feeling like there's some kind of coup still going on in there. I just can't shake it. I keep thinking about it, and I'm like, something's going to happen in there.
You know what, Sheilah? That's what my guides have shown me since day one with this invasion, that there's going to be people wanting to overthrow him. And also I see a civil war in Belarus, the people overthrowing that guy. I can't remember the guy's name.
Look at
yeah, he's going to go too.
Good, because they don't like him either.
Yeah.
And the younger people in Russia are all leaving. I mean, I'm finding Russians on YouTube who have left, and they're just like, they're hiding out in Georgia and in Azerbaijan, or I forget, but the other countries, and just trying to get away from it because they don't want this. People don't want it.
Old timers might like Putin because they were used to the Soviet system. But think about this. You know, the last 30 years, the last couple, 3 generations, right? 2 or 3 generations, you know, you get your Visa card, your MasterCard, your bank account, you've got McDonald's, you got your designer clothes, you've got the store stocked full of food, you've got, you know, it's westernized. And now all of a sudden, none of those things are there.
Right.
And so there's no McDonald's, you know, your bank account, you know, if you had 10,000 in there, it might be worth $100.
Right.
No, you can't buy clothing anymore. You can't get decent supplies. You can't. So the whole lifestyle you've been used to is overnight gone. And some of the older people remember what it was like in the Soviet system, but the younger ones know. And they're the ones that are ultimately going to turn against him. They already are.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Well, in Russia, I think eventually, probably like a decade out from now, I think will actually be an ally to the U.S. and to the world. They're going to change dramatically and be a lot more democratic.
Yeah, they've got a lot of work to do though to get there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, so you're right, Sheilah. His own people are going to stand up against him.
Yeah, it has to be Russia, the Russian people. So
there was that sign that woman was holding behind the reporter, and remember that they showed it on TV? And some of my Russian friends translated it for me, and it says, "Don't believe what Putin is saying. What they're telling you is all lies."
Yes, very much so.
And so,
yeah,
it's going to be very much a revolution in Russia, I feel. After
well, think about it. Even freedom of speech. I mean, there used to be independent news agencies, and now it's all state-run. And so, you know, people, you know, if they even say war, they can get jailed for 15 years. And so,
it's total nonsense.
It is nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a very strong possibility, Kat.
Yep, I agree with that.
I have felt that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is that before or after he's tried for war crimes? I
feel like they will try him for war crimes, but I feel like it's going to be afterwards. I think
but some of the people around him they'll try too, and those people will try to go escape and hide somewhere. But guess what? They won't be able to hide. They'll be flushed out.
Yeah.
Yes, I have your
question. They hold the war. Hopefully, they hold the war crime tribunal in Kiev.
Yeah.
I think it has to be The Hague, though. But but they have to lead it. So you're right, and they do have to. The Ukrainians do have to kind of lead it because it is from their country. But so in a sense, it is actually going to be.
Well, why do you think they held the war? A lot of the war crime trials in Nuremberg, Germany, because that's where Hitler had the famous Nuremberg laws that took away like civil rights for Jews and minorities.
Yep.
And so that's why that's where he had his big rallies. So that's why they held the Nuremberg trials there.
Yeah, I remember that now. Getting old, refresh my memory. But yes, that's true. You are right. So hopefully that they don't take Kyiv though, because oh my gosh,
I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either. But
well, they're going to get some pretty sophisticated weapons. I mean, it's funny. I saw on television that some of the younger people, like in their 20s, they had the drones, right? They know the kind you could just buy. And what they would do is they fly the drones and they could spot where the Russian tanks were, and then that's where they knew to attack.
Yep.
And so, you know, those kids were brought up playing video games and all of that, just like the Russian kids were. And guess what? They're using that against the Russians. So good.
Yeah, I saw that. That was fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Jay Roberts. Please hit the thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed to Sheila or Mel's channel, please go over there and subscribe. Or
Yes.
my channel if you're watching and not subscribed. I would appreciate that.
And when I get to 16,000 subscribers, I'll give away 3 free half-hour sessions. So
Yes, and when I get to 2,000,
right? I'm sorry, Sheila. Go ahead.
yep. And when I get to 2,000, I'm going to give away 2 free private readings. And I don't do private readings, but I will be doing it for you.
okay.
Yes.
Kevin, how many subscribers do you have now?
3,400. I just
Yay!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Good.
Yay.
All right. So Cindy P asked, do you see Josh Shapiro, Democrat, winning the PA governor race? It's getting ugly quick in PA with the wackadoodle Republicans. I see Pennsylvania staying blue. I feel the Senate seat's going to go to the bald guy. I can't think of his name. I just read on him the other day. But I see Josh Shapiro winning the governor's race. It'll be closer, but I still see PA going blue.
What do you think, Sheila?
I do think that Josh will win, or the Democrats will. Definitely will not be anyone like Dr. Oz. So don't worry.
Yes, it was Fetterman is going to win the seat. Thank you, Amy.
I'm originally a Pennsylvanian, so I kind of I feel for that state. So hopefully it will stay Democratic. So.
I pulled 2 of spades, so that means success. So I'll say yes. Pennsylvania Dutch, huh?
Me? Oh no, I'm from Pittsburgh originally. Go Steelers.
Well, Pennsylvania, the word Pennsylvania Dutch isn't really Dutch, it's Deutsch, which means Pennsylvania Germans, and they speak a dialect of German.
Yes. Well, I've got the Wheel of Fortune. So the 5 of Pentacles here. So, and then the Magician. So I feel like they're actually I think they can pull it off. So the Wheel of Fortune, it's looking bad right now with the 5 of Pentacles, with all the craziness going on up there. It's going to be all right. This is luck on their side. And I think just go vote.
But couldn't the Wheel of Fortune also mean kind of stuck in inertia? So it seems like it's unsure, it's not going anywhere.
Well, it can be. It can also be time, and it can be, but it's luck, chance, and opportunity. Also, so there's you might possibly win. It's like you go play Keno, you might win.
Well, also a very perfect card, like destiny, like good luck, like
yeah.
I was thinking of more from the Republican side, like they're just spinning their wheels.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one.
I agree with that.
I had felt that there was going to be cyber attacks on the U.S., but I feel like the U.S.'s cyber defense actually stopped a bunch of them that were coming through. I think they're still trying, though, but...
Yeah, they are trying. I thought the YouTube was getting hit Tuesday because there was something wrong with it. I was wondering if it was the Russians. But,
yeah.
Well, my guides tell me not to worry so much about cyber attack. It's more about the misinformation that they're putting through social media venues. And so ultimately, we'll figure out algorithms and things like that to stop some of that nonsense. But in answer to the cyber attack, I pulled the Ace of Clubs, which means misadventure. It means not being successful. So if the Russians try that, a cyber attack on some of our infrastructure, they will not be successful. As I said, I'm more worried about how they're influencing social media with misinformation.
Yes, that's true. And for me, I pulled the which one is this? I think this is 4 of Cups. It's luxury or whatever. So they think that there's a lot of people, technical people there in Russia, and they're the ones getting out there to hack with the Princess of Wands, and they're going to do their magic, and they're actually really good at it over there. But with the Hermit, they're trying to be hidden, and we kind of have somebody the anonymous I know is working on to get them, which is kind of interesting. So I clarified, and I got the power card here with the 4 pentacles. So they're trying to exert their power over us. They're going to try and do, and this is Dominion over here, 2 of Wands. They're definitely going to be trying to do that over us and other Western countries and try to oppress us, but it will not work. Don't bet against the USA or NATO.
There you go. Can you also ask you all, what about the misinformation on social media? Will we have algorithms in place, or will we have things in place to identify, who's doing it with IP address and stop it and the big kind of lies or the misinformation they're putting forth?
Well, I feel that there's going to be a lot of regulations put into place where they will not allow that, like before something can post, it gets fact checked because of all the spread of misinformation. But I feel like that's something happening next year.
Well, a lot of that's up to the social media platforms as well. And if they don't do it, then it's kind of hard, because I don't know. I'm not actually sure if there are tight enough regulations right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they'll put those regulations in for the social media. Yeah.
Yes, they need to put it in. But
what I foresee is a lot of civil lawsuits against certain social media platforms for allowing the misinformation, slanderous behavior, and things like that, which freedom of speech does not give somebody the right to be slanderous.
Yes.
And there's going to be a lot of huge lawsuits that the plaintiffs, the people filing the lawsuit, will win. So, when some of those social media platforms have to pay a big chunk of change out to lawsuits, the same I see with a certain news channel whose name I won't mention, then
faux news.
maybe they'll change it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I threw a couple cards on the cyber attack, and I get that my Empress card is Mother Russia. I'm getting that, they're watching and waiting. Have they already tried it? Yes, they have tried it. They will try it again. There's a lot of things that are unknown in the dark with the moon. But what I get is that the U.S. has really ramped up their defense because the strength cards coming in. And I'll tell you what, if Russia does do a massive cyber attack, I think it will be something that we figure out within a day or two. I don't think it will be long-lived, and the U.S. do a massive cyber attack back to Russia. That's what I feel.
You're right about that. This is what Putin doesn't quite get.
Right.
That they can try it, but they underestimate us. And we can make, if they do a cyber attack on us, we can make that look like a gentle breeze compared to the stuff we can do back to them. And we will.
Yeah, we could take down all of Russia, I feel like.
Yeah.
I think distant future wars will be fought cyber war. But when you said Mother Russia, I thought, well, when I think of Putin, mother's only half of a word, and the other part of it, go to YouTube, Joe.
Is the other one riding with Tucker?
You got it. Puck Putin.
Yeah.
Right.
I hope we don't go to YouTube jail for that. I don't think we will.
No, you're fine.
All right. What do you feel about FBI Director Wray? Do you feel like we can trust him?
Well, I have to say, with the things that came out that the DOJ was investigating, and they kept it very quiet and very secret, and I'm sure the FBI was involved in that, there's got to be some element of trust, because there were no leaks, that's for sure. As we speak, I think the FBI is looking into Trump, a lot of the affiliations with Putin, and also the insurrection, and they're helping the DOJ, and so they're doing a good job of keeping it quiet.
Yeah, I don't think he was the best leader though while Trump was president. I think he turned the side eye to a lot of stuff Trump was doing.
I'm not shouting his praise.
Yeah.
But, the president can fire the director of the FBI.
Right.
So maybe Wray kind of knew how to play it. And maybe that was protecting us from Trump to a degree. Do I like Wray? No.
Yeah.
But I still think there's things going on behind closed doors, investigations and things like that against Trump and the insurrection. And it's all going to come to light soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what my guides tell me.
All right. Well, I've got I pulled the Queen of Wands, this inspiration, and I know he came in after all the other people kept getting fired, and there's some sunshine on this. So if you're wondering what this is, it's Easter, chubby bunnies. Okay, so it's Easter coming up here. So,
oh my God, he's gonna get pregnant. There's bunnies there.
Yes. So things are getting better. He was stuck, dealing with Trump, and so that has cast a lot of doubt. But he's been doing I think he's been doing a pretty good job. He was kind of stuck in a moment too there, stuck with the Eight of Swords, this temporary crisis kind of situation. Trump is gone now. So 45, as I hate saying his name. But I have the Ace of Pentacles here. So I see success. So it looks like now everybody's down to business. He did resist some stuff that 45 did try to do though. Yeah. And, I thought for a minute he was going to get fired, but because he said that, I think it was about the election or something too. So that it was.
And you know what, Sheilah, when you were saying that, a light bulb went on my head. My guides show me, and all that's going to come to the forefront. All that's going to be made public.
Yes.
Do you feel like he's going to be the FBI director for much longer?
They normally stay in at least 10 years. They should. They're not supposed to be affected by politics, and technically the presidents. Oh no, yeah, the presidents don't really touch the DOJ except for the last one, and he didn't do things correctly. So, as long as he's doing his job, I think he'll be all right.
I feel like he might step down though in a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
The last president's crooked fingers touched every institution in this country and tainted them, but they're doing untainted.
Yep. And the institutions held.
Right. Yeah. I don't think Ray will last 10 years, though. I don't see that.
Okay. What?
I don't. I'm sorry?
Nothing.
What did you say, Mel? I missed it.
I said, I don't think Ray will last 10 years.
I don't think so either. I think and I don't see him being fired. I think he'll walk away.
Yeah, I see the number 2, so it could be 2 years or 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. But then but the next one will be really good. So yeah.
Okay. So I don't care to read on Elon Musk, but is he seriously trying to buy Twitter? I think he's trying to, but I think he's also. I don't see him taking over Twitter. I don't see them accepting his offer. And I always felt too, after he bought those, all the stock in it, I felt like he was going to walk away from Twitter and probably sell his stocks pretty shortly after. Because I feel like him and the CEOs of Twitter do not get along. Like, I feel like they're just constantly fighting and arguing.
Well, he only owns 9% of the stock in Twitter.
But it's the highest stock owner, I believe.
I'm sorry?
I think he has the highest stock percentage in Twitter.
9%. 9%.
Yeah.
But he might just be giving it hot air, but my guides say it's going to cost him a lot of money to buy Twitter. I mean, we're not talking, we're talking billion. I don't know, but we're talking a lot of money.
He put an offer in today to buy Twitter for like $43 billion or something like that. But I don't feel that they're going to take it.
But he doesn't have the money anyway. It's not liquid. They're saying he would have to make Tesla private. Right. And SEC is going to come after him if he does that. So
that's exactly right. And the other part of that is, I think is Twitter stock publicly traded? I don't know.
I think so. Yeah.
Because if he's publicly traded, I don't see how he could buy it. In order to buy it, you have to buy up all the stock, or at least 51%.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what their status.
So there might be some federal laws against that. I don't know enough about the law. I just don't see him owning Twitter completely. Absolutely not.
Yeah. And people were asking before too. They were worried that if he was going to be on the board, on their board, that he would allow Trump to go back on Twitter, and I don't see that either.
Oh,
Well, he got off the board.
No, I know, but they had asked me that, I think, earlier this week before he announced he wouldn't be on the board. But no, I don't see Trump going back to Twitter.
Well, in the worst case scenario, let's say they did allow Trump back on to tweet or twit or whatever you call it. Well, Trump is a twit. The twit tweets.
yes.
But I think, with all the misinformation, the lies he's telling, then Trump would be subjected to humongous lawsuits, as well as Twitter, for allowing him to put that on there. And they don't want to have to face that sort of civil penalty and that sort of litigation. So I just don't see it happening, though.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah.
Was Marjorie Taylor Greene suspended from Twitter? I don't know.
Was who?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I don't know if she is.
Because I see her being suspended from a lot of social media as well.
Oh, aren't they trying to keep her from being elected again with the 14th Amendment?
Yes.
I love it.
Yay. And also, who was the guy that came forward and said about the cocaine parties and this and that?
Oh, that was Madison Cawthorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the judge that ruled something I just heard about adding a name on a ballot or something? I forget what it was about. But
it was Mark Meadows.
Yes.
Mark Meadows voted in a state that he didn't live in.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, wasn't it like one of the South Carolina, but he lived in Virginia, or North Carolina, and he lived in Virginia. He lived in Virginia because he's working down in D.C., so just down the street. But,
isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and he registered. He registered his address to a not legit address, I believe is what it was.
Yep.
Anyway.
So Reed Peacock asks, do we feel like the truth will come out on the journalist? Yeah, Khashoggi, thank you. In Saudi Arabia, and will it be revealed that any involvement of the former guy and Jared? I do feel that Jared had information on it, and I think more of that will come out. But I think it's a little while out there before more information comes out.
Yeah, I think I just read on that earlier tonight. Yeah, I think he's got some involvement in it for sure. I thought it was what?
I think he knew intel.
Yeah. It was money exchanged.
Well, we know indirectly who had it done. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Right, Jared involved. It's just such yucky energy.
Well, and I'm almost wondering too if Khashoggi's if he was taken out because it was a story that implicated like Jared and the Saudis and their shady business dealings. I feel like there was some kind of involvement in that.
I think it's a story that implicated all of them.
Yeah.
And so, I'm sorry, go ahead, Sheila.
There was a story in the Washington Post that I remember reading that entire article where he was talking about Saudi Arabia and how corrupt the country was and things like that. And I'm not sure if it had to do with that. I know he was outspoken against Saudi Arabia. I thought that was the reason, but I'm not about his being outspoken about how corrupt things were. But it's been several years. So
I pulled 5 cards, and first of all, I pulled judgment. So I see at least 4 or 5 people being implicated in that murder. Then I pulled the moon. Bingo. So that Sheila, you go ahead and explain it.
No. I was just showing.
It just means secrets coming to the surface, things coming to the surface that have been hidden. And then I pulled the Fool. So they thought that they were pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. And then I asked about his death, and I pulled the death card.
Yeah.
And then I asked the final outcome, and I saw justice.
Nice.
So I don't know if Jared and Cheeto Head will be implicated directly.
Yeah.
But they're going to show that they indeed did have some connections with, I forget who murdered Khashoggi, the prince or something.
And the prince.
But it will show those connections, and it will show that there was indeed a conspiracy to murder Khashoggi. And that's all going to come to the forefront.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I do get that there was an exchange of money overseas. I even get the Two of Wands, so he's looking at the globe, watching overseas. But I do see more intelligence coming out, more information coming out about this in the future. It's going to make some people look very foolish, and I think some people are going to go to jail with this Eight of Swords. It's going to be very restrictive for them.
Yeah.
You know what? I just had a flashbulb go on in my head. My guides do that. It's like, boom, right? I think that the CIA already has a lot of knowledge about who was involved and what happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think they probably already briefed Biden on it and the powers that be and this administration. So
Yes.
a lot of it's already known. But
Yep.
go ahead, Sheila, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. So I have a lot of information coming in here with the Eight of Wands. Now my possibilities card is turned upside down. So, I mean, there's some doubt. I don't know why, but that's cards. Or we could just go like this. So possibilities. So you can just do whatever you want to do. So here's the Hierophant. So this is the government. The government knows what's going on here, as you were saying. And I kind of also sort of have my own set of bars over here with the Ten of Swords. And you could technically do this.
Yeah.
But there is loss. Well, yeah, there is loss because it's over here. Yeah, basically these two together. So it is going to come to light. Yes, right now we do have that mystery. This is on the bottom of the deck. But I do think, it's the beginning. Oh, that's what this is here. So I clarified this one with this one. Couldn't figure out what this was. And it's at the beginning. It is the very beginning of the truth. We're going to find out what the truth is. This mystery is going to be solved because, yes, they do know. They have a lot of information. We are somehow there's a connection with Jared. I'm not totally sure about what that is yet, but I did read on something earlier tonight about money being exchanged. So there could be something that they did, but yeah, and the government does know.
I feel like Jared's more involved than Trump, though. I'm not picking up Trump necessarily, but Jared definitely was involved.
Yeah, he's slimy. He's the one where with this reading that I felt icky energy with.
Yeah,
it's him.
Very icky.
Yes.
But I saw like dark hands under the table switching money to another hand, which went to another hand. So it's not direct involvement, but very indirectly.
Yep.
But I do
laundered
praise to him. I'm sorry.
And laundered money too.
Of course, yeah. Wonder how many times I can wash the money,
Yep.
All right. So Claudia asks, will Ukraine take back Mariupol? Ukraine has lower numbers, but they are fighting for their land. Will the atrocities in Mariupol be exposed? I definitely feel a lot more things being exposed. And because there's videos of all the Russian soldiers going in there and destroying everything. I do feel that they will take back Mariupol, but I think it's going to take a little bit of time still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling too.
It's funny whenever they say the Russians were retreating, I'm like, no, Putin's just regrouping.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. So when asked about the atrocities of Mariupol being exposed, they already are.
Yeah.
And I understand that Putin brought in portable crematories to burn the bodies, and that now they're kidnapping the kids, the orphans, and all of that, and taking them to Russia. But that's all going to be exposed. I pulled the Five of Hearts, which means exposure of secret. and I ask about the outcome for Mariupol, and I see thunder and lightning, which is a surprise disagreeable for Putin. And then once again, I ask about Putin. I saw the 10 of clubs, which means a death card at end of Putin. It's going to look for a while like the Russians are, like Putin might have big control over Mariupol, but at the end of the day, he absolutely will not. So I don't, he's not going to succeed there.
Yeah, I agree, Mel. It's going to take a little bit of time for them to get that back. I think Putin's plan now is
Putin doesn't have it all the way. I mean, the Ukrainians are
right. They're still fighting in that area. It's not completely controlled. I feel like his plan now is he thought he could take Kiev and then take the whole country and install his own people in there. But since he's not able to, I think now he's going to go on more the eastern side rather than all of Ukraine.
Well, now he's taking a different tactic. If he can get in around the Black Sea, but around, that he can control that area, but not going to happen.
Yeah, and they just lost that ship. Yeah. And they just lost that ship today too, which could help them from the Black Sea. But
and they're going to lose a lot more ships.
Yeah.
Well, because when you said that, my guys told me a big 3 fingers held up. So in near future, they're going to lose at least 3 more large ships.
Well, and I think that was the ship that all those Ukrainians on that island that they attacked.
Yes.
I was telling them to F off.
Yep, with the finger. Yep.
Maybe that's where the finger
between the lines.
They made a stamp out of that too, which I think is lovely.
Oh, yay. I want that.
I know I want that stamp too. But all right, I've got the 6 of Swords here. So they're going to be, and I think Russia's going to be moving on eventually. It will be revealed, everything in there, because it's being hidden right now, and I have the Hermit. But, it's going to come to light. I know this is the Ace of Wands, but the way I'm seeing it, and I see that the yellow background in here, and I don't know. I want to say that they'll get it back, but it's not going to be anything like it was. So, I mean, it's just atrocious.
What was that card you pulled, the 6 that had the streak going across the top of it? Was that
the wand?
Oh, the 6 of Swords.
6 of Swords. See, that reminds me of a missile. And that reminds me that I'm thinking that's the Ukrainians sending some kind of missile to take out more Russian ships.
Right. Oh, yeah, they did it. It was all Ukraine.
I know.
Yeah, and I definitely feel Ukraine, when they get a lot of this, a lot of these weapons are going to start trying to take a more offensive position rather than just a defensive.
Right. Well, I saw an article right before we got on about how the Russians are shocked at all of the weapons coming into Ukraine to help them. They're just like, what's happening? So, I mean, we're sending stuff, and all the other countries are sending stuff.
And you know what? And it ain't going to stop. They're going to continue to get all kinds of help.
Yeah.
I know people, friends of mine who are Ukrainian, they live here, and some are doctors and this and that, and they're sending all kinds of medical supplies and food and clothing, to the people in Ukraine. And some people are saying, well, the people in Ukraine that need them aren't getting them, but this organization should make sure that, the soldiers and the people get the stuff that's being sent. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that Jan Breck makes a good point that we have to continue to constantly send that gold dome or white light to Ukraine.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Encourage. I have a question for you all. This is a question for me, and typically I don't do this, but I got to do it.
Right.
I've been looking for, I want to go to Poland, and I've said this before, or Slovakia, or Budapest to help with refugees. And I've got some friends that are helping to connect me with people, to be able to go there and volunteer. I do not speak Polish, nor do I speak Ukrainian, But I guess the two question is, do you all see me there? And do you all see me being able for like 7 to 10 days to be able to volunteer to do something to help the refugees over there?
Yeah.
I'm not picking it up as very sure. I'm getting like a maybe that you would go over there. I definitely feel like you would want to help.
Ew. I feel like I'm being compelled. It's like I can't. It's just like a magnet pulling me.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to happen. Because if you feel that, and you're already, it's like you feel it in your heart and your soul. When it's something that you have to do.
My entire being.
Go look into it and
yeah.
You know, see if it's right for you. But I would start.
I am. I'm just trying to get different avenues, like volunteer organizations.
Yeah.
When I go there, I can just say, do I show up and volunteer? Do I call them ahead of time?
Yeah.
You know, all the questions. But people say to me, aren't you afraid to go? And I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if you go, you'd be safe.
I'm just not afraid. I'm sorry, Kevin?
I said, I feel like if you went, you'd be safe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you all. I appreciate it.
I think so too.
Throwing 2 cards on it. But.
Oh, yeah, do that.
I was picking up more of a maybe. Like I wasn't entirely sure that you've decided fully. But
Yeah.
Oh, I got wonderful cards, Mel. I got the star, so there's a lot of hope that you can bring to that situation to help. Feels very karmic, and you have a lot of love to give to those people and help. And 2 of Cups, so partnership. So I would say that it looks like it leans more towards yes with those.
Yay. Thank you, Kevin.
Okay. Ouch. I haven't turned mine over yet. Hold on a second.
That's all right.
Well, I've got the 9 of Daisies, which is the 9 of Pentacles. Sorry, it is so close to Easter. I've turned them all over. I haven't done it yet. Yeah, I do think with the 9 of Pentacles that this is something. So you need to figure out like what it's gonna, the expenses of this trip, and what is it going to cost you? What are you going to need to do? With the Knight of Pentacles, you're kind of dragging your feet a little bit, and you're trying to make that decision. We have the Moon, so you need to figure out all the logistics and what's involved, and who you have to talk to over there, where you're going to stay, get all that stuff sorted out. Because again, with the Wheel of Fortune, we definitely have to work out the time frame and work out is this the right choice, kind of thing. But you are feeling burdened by it. So I think once you clear up everything else that I just said in there, I think you're going to be okay. But let me just pull.
When God was handing out patience, I stood in the attitude line. So I'm an Aries. I just on a plane and go do it. And
let me just grab one off the top here.
No, Mel, you got to like work through the logistics of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
King of Pentacles. Yeah, I think this is the right choice for you.
Yay.
I think you should do it. Yep.
That would be wonderful, Mel.
It's just something.
Yes, you're getting a lot of love in the chat.
Oh,
Thank you for that.
Just everybody send lots of support and love to the people of Ukraine, please.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
And the other thing is beware of scams, because there's a lot of, unfortunately, scams out there who will want you to donate. So what I did is I called the Ukrainian embassy in Chicago, and they gave me some good organizations. I don't have it beside me right now, but so,
you can post some on your community tab, Mel.
I will. Okay.
And community tab for people that want to donate.
Okay. And you can also, wherever you're at, just call the Ukrainian embassy in Chicago, and they can tell you legitimate Ukrainian organizations where you can donate money.
Right. Oh, thank you, Sterling Roses.
All right. So this is actually a good question. I think we're going to end it on this question.
Okay.
Deb C asked, Stephen Miller testified for 6 hours today before the January 6th committee. Did he say anything worthwhile? Well, I'll throw some cards on it, but Stephen Miller is a douche, and I don't think he said that.
I know. I'm getting blocking. I feel like he's blocking.
Yeah.
It's like right away. It's like the first feeling I have is blocking.
I don't think he told hardly anything. I think he, went there so that they could say that he didn't, so that they couldn't indict him because he went there and just pled the fifth for everything. I think that's what happened.
In some languages, douche means shower.
Well, he's a golden douche then.
We should call it, douche.
Oh, wait, doesn't that remind you of the golden showers thing at the beginning of?
No, Trump did that in Russia.
Yeah.
We digress.
Ooh.
I'm sure that Miller pled the fifth a few times, and when you read that question, it was like I was hearing gibberish, like blah 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 blah. It's just a bunch of words or gibberish. It's not making a lot of sense. So
yeah, he's nasty.
So I don't really think that he said too much worthwhile. However, I do think that he slipped on some things because Stephen Miller's ego is bigger than the Sears Tower here in Chicago.
Yes.
And because there's a few things he slipped on, that gave them information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. Well.
It's funny that you said that, Mel, because I agree with you. He got the Knight of Cups up top, which I'm seeing as that was like a slip up. Like there were a few things that he said that he didn't mean to, but I got the Two of Swords crossed by the Hangman, so he was feeling very conflicted on where he was going to go. He knew that he would get subpoenaed sooner or later, so his thing was to try to, delay, suspend, that indictment. Yeah. He knows all the secrets, and he was being slick and wasn't sharing too much.
Well, my guides tell me he was a very difficult witness.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they're also telling me that there was some executive privilege issues that came up. But I don't even know if he could fall back on executive
No,
privilege.
we can't.
And I think if they remind him that he can't pull executive privilege, then he answers the question. The only thing he can do then is plead the fifth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I see this testimony today actually coming back and biting him and being burdensome in the future for him. So.
That's what I see.
Yeah.
He thought he was being smart, but it's, there's an old saying in politics, it's not the crime, it's a cover up to get you.
Yes, it is. From Nixon's time. Well, I've got the Hermit, so this is trying to keep things hidden. That's how I'm seeing this Hermit and him in general. But he does have a lot of helpful information with the Page of Wands here. But he wants to continue the whole line, the strife, the fighting. This is the Five of Wands. And, but today was quite a shock. And he had to talk to them, but of course he didn't want to. But I do agree that he tried to block. The first thing I got was blocking. Yeah. But he can't executive privilege because Biden is the president, and Biden said no.
You know what? I pulled the card while you were talking. I got justice. So
Yep.
Yeah, it speaks for itself. And as you were talking, Sheilah. Boy, my guides are really strong tonight. Here again, the light bulb went on.
Good.
And if they had stuff on him, don't kid yourself. My guides tell me that Stephen Miller would flip on Trump in a nanosecond.
Oh, yeah.
So, some of these people that are testifying when it goes to the DOJ, I think what's going to happen is the DOJ will offer them immunity, but they have to tell what they know. And they can't pretend like they're going to help and then not or lie.
Yeah,
that's right.
So that's exactly where I see it going.
Yep, that's right.
So
all right. Well, I think that was our last question for tonight.
So,
like I said before, please like this video. Oh, I'm sorry, Sheilah, you weren't done. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just pulled the sunshine, so I'm like, yay.
Oh.
Go ahead. I'm finished.
I'm sorry. But yeah, please go over and subscribe to Sheilah and Mel's channel if you have not. Sheilah, do you have anything in the works for collabs or anything that you'd like to share?
Oh my goodness! This week was crazy collab week, so go to my site and see. I just did a collab today with Bathrobe Tarot, Danny Shea. I am working on setting something up again with Lilac Lantern. And I have Marina Heart Centered Tarot on Monday. I have a mystery to do with Danielle from on her channel. And let's see. Oh, there's a lot. And then there's the one we're doing with Deanne. And my calendar, I can't even. It's been very busy, but
Yeah.
I love working with everyone. So
it was nice meeting you, Sheilah.
It's wonderful meeting you too, Mel.
Let's do it again.
Yes.
Do you have anything that you'd like to share, Mel?
Well, I've got a collab coming with Linda and Danny tomorrow. Linda Grindle and Danny Shea. Monday, Linda Grindle's going to be on my channel. And then Kevin and I are every Thursday night. And so, I read full time. And so, I keep wanting to do more videos and I'll get around to it, but it's just getting home and getting dinner and then, but anyway, I do want to plug my Croatia trip. So I've got 4 openings for July the 20th. So if anybody wants information, please call my office at 847-590-5411, 847-590-5411, or email me, Mel, M-E-L, at Meldor, MELDOERR.com. And for reading information, call my office, please.
Yeah. Well, you were saying that some people were nervous about it, but I feel that you're going to be safe in Croatia. I feel like that's far enough away from anything going on in Ukraine or in that area.
I mean, in order for the war to go into Croatia, first of all, it would have to go through Slovakia, Czech Republic, probably Hungary, parts of Hungary, and then
it's too far.
Some other country, and then into Croatia, and it would, or come up through Serbia, but I don't think so. I don't think at all. It'll be safe.
Yeah, you'll have a fun time.
Good. Oh. Yay! The Adriatic's beautiful.
I have Deanne and Adam from Adam Stargazing Astrology on my Tuesday show next week, and then I will be on Deanne's channel on Wednesday with Jen from Jen's World and Sheilah.
Yes, so that's the one.
And we just did a collab on your channel this week with Jen's
that's
World.
right. Yeah, this week has been a blur. I have had shows like every day this week except Tuesday where we got thwarted. But
now, explain Deanne. What's Deanne's last name?
Oh, Deanne Shield Maiden.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Deanne Shield Maiden, who comes on my Tuesday show, and you've worked with her on my show.
Oh yeah. That's what I thought. Mm-hmm. Like, I was having a brain, a brain moment, a senior moment.
Yes, Connie, I think Macron will win. I felt that very strongly.
Yes.
All right, let's do this again, you all. This was fun.
Yes, it was fun. All right. Well, bye, everyone. Have a happy Easter, and I'll see you all soon. Sending you all a lot of love and blessings.
Yes. Bye, everyone.
Bye.